All right, everybody, what is up? Unfortunately, it is just me today. No parlay doc. Luckily, he isn't joining us. Wait, let me rephrase this. The reason why he's not joining us isn't because of he's still recovering from the one chip challenge. So at least that is a good sign. He just has, I think he has a wedding or some sort of prior family commitment. That is the reason why he is not joining us, not because he is still recovering from the one chip challenge. So he is doing well. All recovery has been made from the one chip challenge. He suggested, or he said that he'll never do it again. And he told me, seriously, I'm not joking. You can't do that. So just me today, just Jedi Modai, no parlay doc, but he is alive and well. So at least we have that. So for this live stream, I'm sure you guys are not surprised by this, but we will be talking about some MLS locks. Just kidding, talking about NFL Sunday. I locked in a ton of bets this morning. So if there are some that are still available that I have locked in, we will go through those first. As you can see, I went just bananas locking in all of these bets. Let me refresh this because I think some of those are no longer plus EV. But let's just go through it. We can go through this. We can go through the start. Dakota, there will be one touchdown. I can't promise there will be two. Can't promise there will be three. There will be one touchdown. Let's go over some. We're going to talk about it. Yeah, I know. Poor guy. I mean, the horror stories that he gave me were no joke about what he went through. I talked about it on the Friday live stream, but it was no joke. And he was like dead serious. He was like, "Don't do it." He's like, "I'm not." He's like, I don't normally I'm. He's a physician, like a certified physician. He's like, I don't mess around. He's like, I thought at one point I was gonna have to go to the ER. So he's dead serious. Don't do it. Anyways, so here are some bets that I have already locked in that are still available to be bet. A lot of them on Caesars. Caesars seems to be the worst at pricing player props, which is great for us. That means they're the best for us. A lot of them, all of them are for plus money. So it's not necessarily as if they're like the most likely to occur. But if you lock in 4 and you go 50-50, no matter what to win, you will be profitable. So this first one I locked in, and these were all I'm almost positive for half of a unit. I think I just put half a unit on these ones. So this first one, KJ Hamler under 1.5 receptions plus 172 on Caesars. KJ Hamler, famously the guy who threw his helmet after Russ just blew that game on Thursday Night Football. It's honestly, it's too good that we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. The Eagles are 5-0. The Phillies are moving on to the NLCS. The Sixers have the best team they've had since the AI going to the finals year. The Flyers are the Flyers. Who cares? But yeah, it's a great time to be a Philly sports fan. It is uncharted territory, and I'm just worried for the other shoe to drop. But I will enjoy it while I can. So KJ Hamler under 1.5 receptions. Just look at the value here. Like DraftKings, who does a pretty good job at pricing player props, all the way down at plus 130. BetOnline and Pinnacle, two of the sharpest sports books in the world, plus 149, plus 151, plus 172 is what we're getting on Caesars. I locked this one in. We can go through. I guess I got to log back in. We can go through my open bets. Like I said, I locked in a ton. Luckily, I've had a lot of success on Caesars specifically. So like I have 11 open bets and I still have 1,400 left in my account. That is not the case with some other sports books. But the KJ Hamler one, I put half of a unit. So I think this one is worth a half a unit play. KJ Hamler under 1.5 receptions. The next one that I also put half a unit on, I also love it for the same exact reasons. Darius Slayton to go over 3.5 receptions as the second player prop. Another half of a unit play. Excuse me. Darius Slayton over 3.5 receptions plus 172 on Caesars. Just ridiculous value. I mean, like Pinnacle has it at plus 160, but look at all the other books, plus 149, plus 140, plus 133. Every other book has it in the plus 140s, except for Pinnacle, which has it at plus 160. So this outlier is an awesome play, plus 172 on Caesars. Obviously, they're both not the most likely plays in the world to hit, but if they go 50-50, right? If you win one, you lose one, then you profit like, I don't know, it's like 50 to win like 86, something like that. Same thing with obviously the Slayton one because they have the same exact odds. So those are two. This next one, Trent Sherfield over 14.5 receiving yards plus 104. I also think this one was for half a unit. But let's see if we can find it. No, okay. So this one was about 3/4 of a unit. I put 70 on this one. So I guess the odds changed a little bit, telling you to put 60. So whatever, like between half and 3/4 of a unit. If you just want to round up to 3/4, if you just want to round down to half a unit, I think that's fine. But Trent Sherfield over 14.5 receiving yards, plus 104 on Caesars. Novig line at minus 101. And then again, just compared to all the other books, it's just insane. Minus 120, minus 120, minus 114, minus 118. It looks like every single book that is pricing it. I'll check in a little bit. I'll check. It looks like every book that is pricing it has it as the significantly, or not significantly, has it either at 50-50, which BetOnline has, or has it favored, which every other book has, except for BetRivers. BetRivers is the only book that isn't favoring the over in terms of how they're pricing it. And Caesars is giving that to you at plus 104. So the next one that I locked in, this one I'm almost positive I locked in for half a unit. Raheem Mostert. Oh, I lied. This one I put 90 on. So I guess the odds changed on this one as well, making it a little bit less favorable. So for those of you, I would probably just put half a unit on it because it's not as good of a bet as when I locked it in. The odds are the same in terms of the bet you're locking in, but where the other books price it has it at a little bit less favorably than they did. But regardless, plus 110, Raheem Mostert under 56.5 rushing yards, minus 110, minus 110, minus 115, minus 110. Looks like most books have it about 50-50 except for Pinnacle. So that's why the Novig line is all the way at plus 105, even though most of the other books have it at closer to even money. So even though I put 90 on this one, which is closer to a unit, I would probably recommend putting half of a unit on it because it's no longer as favorable. This next one that I locked in, Cooper Rush under 4.5 rushing yards. Cooper Rush rushing yards, which is funny. $60. I think I put half of a unit, or 60. I think I rounded up to 60. But if you want to, for those of you who don't have as even round numbers is what their bankroll is, just half a unit, quarter of a, or 3/4 of a unit, something like that is fine. Under 4.5 rushing yards, minus 102 on PlayUp. This also isn't available. PlayUp, isn't available everywhere, but you can get it on MGM at minus 105. So I'd probably put a half unit on that. But the logic is the same, right? DraftKings has it at minus 125. BetOnline, minus 118. Pinnacle, minus 121. All the other books have it as the favorable outcome, and as does minus 102, but it's closer to even money than all these other books have it. And you can see the Novig line at minus 107. And the last one that I have already locked in is another one on PlayUp. And I can see if this is, so if you don't have PlayUp, then you won't be able to lock this one in. But Rondale Moore over 44.5 receiving yards, minus 103 on PlayUp. If you don't have PlayUp, you won't be able to lock this in, but this is the last one. Time to look through some comments. Yeah, I'll look on FanDuel. I'm also going to lock in a SGP, or not, just a parlay on FanDuel. I'll look at that in a little bit. First things first, I need to promise Brian. So let me go back to pre-match. I filtered some sports books out. I don't know why my computer's going so slow. And it's my computer. It's not OddsJam because I can hear my computer running. Hopefully the quality of the stream is fine. Not sure what's going on. But all right, we're looking at Bet365. So I actually have this filtered out because I can't use it. I signed up in Colorado, but for whatever reason, I can't. It won't. My account won't work. So we'll go with this one first. Okay, as long as the quality is good, that's all that matters. It must be just my issue because it shows it being janky. So I wish I could use Bet365. Look how many bets there are here. So I'll just give you these two. They're both place a unit on both of them. First one, actually, let me make sure this one's great. Mike Gesicki under 26.5 receiving yards, minus 110 on Bet365. Put a unit on this one. That's a pretty good play. Like DraftKings minus 140, BetOnline minus 128, Pinnacle minus 143. Those are the three main ones I like to look for in terms of player props because DraftKings does a really good job with player props. So this one's great. You 1 unit, Mike Gesicki under 26.5 receiving yards. Next one, and I'm just going to give you these two. Travis Etienne under 18.5 receiving yards as well. Yeah, I mean, plus 105 on Bet365, pin minus 139. Looks like every other book that prices it has it at roughly for even money, except for DraftKings, which favors the over a little bit, which isn't ideal, but it's still a pretty good play. And then we can see where other books price it. And we're looking for Travis Etienne. So yeah, it looks like BetOnline prices it 2 yards higher, as does PointsBet. So maybe put like half of it, like 3/4 of a unit on this one. It's not as good as the Gesicki one when you look into it, but it's still a good play. So let me look at FanDuel. I'm not going to lock any of these in because I have a ton pending on FanDuel. So I just don't feel like continuing to put money in. But some of these look pretty good. Ja'Marr Chase, or let's look at this Gesicki. This Gesicki one, I would avoid. This one's not, and I'm commenting on this one specifically. Gesicki, this one I would avoid. Ja'Marr Chase, over 6.5 receptions. We can look at this one. I'd probably put half of a unit on this one as opposed to the full unit, which is what it is telling me to put on it. Because I mean, BetOnline like has it at even money, which is good. Pin only has it at plus 105. And like some other books, BetRivers plus 110, PointsBet plus 105. So this isn't like a massive outlier across all the other books. Like BetOnline having it roughly 50-50 is good. DraftKings favoring the over is good, but some other books aren't necessarily favoring the over. So I'd probably put half of a unit on Ja'Marr Chase over 6.5 receptions. Yes, I do. I have noticed that. I'm not sure if it's just bad luck or if they're just sharper, but BetRivers is one of the books that I struggle on as well. Yeah, I mean, down like 1,400 on BetRivers, which is crazy. So yeah, I am in agreement with that. Let's look at a couple more on so I'll give you one more on FanDuel. This is one that actually did lock in. George, I wonder if this is still available because it didn't show up. Whatever. This George Pickens over 4.5 receptions. I did lock in. This one I think is good. Plus 126 on FanDuel. Pickens over 4.5 receptions. Plus 106, plus 103. Bet365 even money. DraftKings plus 105. Like this plus 126 is a pretty big outlier when you compare it to every other book. So this one's pretty good. So those are the FanDuel specific ones. Let's see. I mean, all of these are last second prop bets. So they pretty much all are. Good morning and good luck. I can check on Underdog next. Let me look at some of the Super Boost. There's one I locked in this morning, but I haven't looked in the past maybe like hour or so. So I can see if they're good ones. And I can tell you which ones that I like. So this one I locked in. Actually, all three of these are good. I locked in all three of these. All three of these are good. Like Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, and Stephon Diggs to combine for 250 receiving yards. Like that's really good. All of these I like. I would take all of them. I mean, like, yeah, these are awesome. I would take all three. All right, let's look at Underdog. And the easiest way to look for Underdog is to look on the OddsJam screen. Actually, no, that's not true. The easiest way is to filter specifically for Underdog. So we will do that. And I'll include Prize Picks as well, since I would imagine most people are using Underdog and Prize Picks. So let's see what we got here. So Mixon under 3.5 receptions is one that this is specific for Underdog. It looks like these are all 5-pick. Yeah, so these are all 5-pick. So pretty much just choose which 5 are your favorite. But this one is good. Like Joe Mixon under 3.5 receptions. Pin in minus 170. Yeah, let me look at Thrive, and I'm answering this question. Let me throw Thrive in there as well. And if there's another one, like Monkey Knife Fight, I think is another one that we have. Yeah, I can. Honestly, there was like 4 ones on Caesars that we gave at the beginning of this. If those are still available, I would recommend checking those. You might have, excuse me, you might have to rewind, but I locked in a ton of Caesars at the beginning of this video. So let me look at these for now. So yeah, okay. So we'll start with Underdog and then we'll go through. Mixon under 3.5 receptions is a good one. I mean, like the implied odds at underdog are minus 122. And like, I mean, Tipico minus 130. And that's pretty much it. Like across the board, they have it at, they have it significantly more favorable than the minus 122 implied odds. Matt Ryan under 1.5 passing touchdowns. I mean, this one, I would love to take individually, but looks like it's not plus EV anywhere. Although, yeah, it's not even on Bet365. But this is another awesome one. And I love it just for handicapping purposes because Matt Ryan stinks. There's zero chance he's throwing 2 touchdowns. There's just no way. And it's plus EV. So here's another one for underdog. Let me get a sip of water real quick. Here's another one. Aaron Jones under 3.5 receptions. Same logic here. Like it's minus 122 implied odds. Looks pretty consistently in the minus 140s with pin at minus 167. Bet online just under minus 150, minus 149. So that's a good one. Trent Sherfield under 1.5 receptions is another good one. And then like the logic is the exact same. So I don't need to talk through it on every single one, but these are all good. Trent Sherfield under. Adam Thielen under 4.5 receptions, another good one. I mean, like across the board in the minus 130s, pin all the way at minus 166. And the last one, this is the last one specific to underdog. Dalvin Cook under 2.5 receptions. So a lot of receptions ones that they're taking in under. Let me hold on. These darn users. All right. So this one is good for underdog. So next we can go through Thrive. Irv Smith under 31.5 receiving yards. It's pretty good. Like pin minus 160, bet online minus 137. DraftKings not as great at minus 130, but still pretty good. Lamar Jackson over 18.5 passing completions is pretty good. J.K. Dobbins under 50.5 rushing yards. Higbee under 56.5 receiving yards. Matthew Stafford under 24.5 completions. These are all pretty good on Thrive. Josh Allen under 26.5. And it looks like Prize Picks, there's only 2 here. Tyler Boyd over 3.5 receptions and David Njoku under 3.5 receptions. So those are the only 2 good ones for Prize Picks. I like Jacksonville and I like this. Yeah, I like all 3 actually. I do like all 3 of those. I think all 3 of those are good. I agree with you there. All right, so let me check. Let me look at the ones that I've already logged in, see if those are still available, because those are pretty good. This I actually took the under, but it's still plus EV just based on how the odds shook out. So, all right, 2 of the ones that I locked in on Caesars are still available. KJ Hamler under 1.5 receptions. This is a good Caesars one. Plus 172 odds. Pin up plus 151. Bet online plus 149. This is a good one on on Caesars. The next one, it looks like it's the last one available. Raheem Mostert under 56.5 rushing yards, plus 110 on Caesars as well. Those 2 are good. Some other stuff that I locked in that I really like. This Andy Dalton over 0.5 interceptions, I think is awesome. Bengals have a really good defense. I think an underrated defense. I don't think people really realize how good that defense is. So this one I love. The EV percent went down. I think I put a unit on it. At this point, I'd only probably put half a unit just based on how the odds have changed. But this is one that I really like. And then for the last thing, let's lock in this SGP on Caesars. The Dolphins game, I mean, truthfully, if you had asked me like just my own handicapping, I would probably, as there's a fly in here, I would like the Vikings, you know, like I wouldn't. I would like the Vikings just because, like, I mean, how often does a third string quarterback, like third string, seventh round rookie, there's just so much going against him that it makes me nervous to back the Dolphins. But I will say, and I can see if they still are. Well, first of all, this is never mind, that's rushing. So these are all player props. Yeah, it looks like there's player prop. So, I mean, here's a good, if you want to like a non-player prop, first half money line, minus 140 on Tipico. So this is one. No, he's not back. Teddy Bridgewater is the backup. Tua is on track to start next week. But Skylar Thompson is getting the start. It's confirmed. If you want to Google Dolphins Vikings and just look at like the matchup. Let's see. I mean, like, can someone just give us like the confirmed that? I mean, I'm almost positive that this is 5 days ago. I'm like 99.999% sure that. I mean, I know that Tua's not back, and I'm pretty sure that Teddy Bridgewater is back, but he's the backup, and that Skylar Thompson is starting. I just wonder why there's like nothing on here for it, but whatever. But I'm almost positive that's the case. So for me, like, I'm all over the Vikings on this one. Like, again, third string quarterback that like never took reps. That's a 7th round rookie. Like, everything is going against the Dolphins. So this first half money line on Tipico is good. Looks like it's not plus EV on any other book. But then so this is what I saw. And I think someone mentioned, yeah, this is what I saw. And like, I would probably, I mean, the EV is like plus 140, plus 139, plus 140. So I'd probably put like, if you're going to take this one, put like half of a unit on it. But this is what I saw as well. The EV is favoring the Dolphins. I mean, I guess like the Vikings first half and the Dolphins second half. So if you want to try and middle that a little bit, you can take both of those. It makes me nervous backing a third, like, again, I don't need to mention again, a third string quarterback. It makes me nervous, but if the EV is there, like, I'm not here to go against it. Then some other plays that I like, the over. All right, this is one where I tend to like the over, but let's see what we got here. I mean, like, I don't know if you're looking at, if you want player props, if you want like official predictions, like what you're looking for. But I mean, this is a player prop, Allen Lazard over 4.5 receptions, which is pretty good. Plus 140 on PointsBet. Bet Online, Pinnacle, plus 122, plus 118. AJ Dillon under everything is good because he just isn't getting work anymore. So this one's good, although it's on PlayUp. And you could get it at plus 140 on 3 books that also aren't that popular, but Betfred, Tipico, and Bet365. So Brian, here's another Bet365 one. AJ Dillon under 1.5 receptions. Put half a unit on it. Like, the odds are so unfavorable, but he's just not getting work anymore. Let's see what else we got here. Rodgers over. I mean, these odds suck, but if you want some sort of like a bankroll builder, Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Yeah. I mean, he's going to throw for 2 touchdowns. I actually think FoxBet, I think, is a book that I do have some money left on. So maybe I'll put a unit on it, bankroll builder type. Because the Jets passing defense stinks. And after the loss to the Giants last week that the Packers are going to want to get it going. Yeah, I do have some left. So this one is good. I saw this. I can look into it. All right. So let me go back. This is probably be the play that I will officially lock in for this game is Rodgers. Cause that, again, like, it's plus the odds aren't ideal at minus 154, but look where everybody else prices it. At the end of the day, you're just playing the odds. So we're looking player props. Boy, this UI is just horrible. So passing touchdowns. So this one, I'm going to put a unit on it. Again, the odds aren't great, but look how good by plus EV. Look how good plus EV that is. All right, I'll get to this one next since you mentioned it earlier. So I want to look at the Rams game. And so you said it was on Sleeper, so that's probably why it wouldn't show up if it is plus EV. We won't play receiving yards. This always, like, second time's a charm always with this one. There we go. So for the Packers Jets one, Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns, I think is pretty obvious. I think that one's great. So, all right, we're looking for Cooper Kupp. So let's see. 90.5. I mean, that's where Sharp so Bet Online doesn't even give odds for it, which is interesting. Like, the daily fantasy ones have it a little bit higher. Like, Underdog has it at 92. Prize Picks has it at 95. Thrive has it at 90. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the implied odds are at Sleeper. it's not like a hammer play by any means. Like most books price it at 90.5. Most books have it at roughly for even money. Pinnacle favors it a little bit, which is a great sign. Bet365 favors it a little bit. Tipico 50-50. WinBet favors it. DraftKings 50-50. Caesars heavily favors it. PointsBet prices it at 91, which is good. PointsBet favors the over, and then BetMGM at 50-50. So it's not like a hammer by any means, but it's not a horrible play. I can check. Let me check Lockett as well. And it sounds good just from like from the game itself. That this game's going to have a ton of points. Like two awful defenses, two good offenses. Like that sounds good in theory. Wait. Oh, okay, never mind. So we're looking at Lockett, and you over 60. I mean, if you're betting on Tyler Lockett's over, take it at 65.5, or take it at. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't touch it above this number. Like right at where it's at 67.5. It's not really a super or no, at 69.5. Yeah, definitely don't take it at 69.5. Anything at 69 is probably an under, but I think the better play is the over 65.5. If you have Bet Rivers, Tyler Lockett over 65.5 is probably the better play. Because I mean, look at most books price it at 67. Some books price it above that, like what? Fox Bet has it at 68. FanDuel and Underdog have it at 69.5. And PointsBet has it at 70. So the best play here is this over 65.5. Yeah, I mean, I like Tampa Bay in that one. Obviously, that's like the Steelers team is just kind of cratering. So yeah, I mean, hey, it's a good play. Sometimes the worst bet, sometimes the best bets feel the worst. Oh yeah, that is tough. If anything, if you have, I don't know where you're located. If you have Bet Rivers, I mean, that's a good play. The over 65.5. Is that Evan McPherson? I'm assuming. Yeah, I mean, backing the Bengals kicker to kick 2 field goals, that's a good play. Where'd you lock that in? Because if it's available on a book that I have, I might tail you on that one. But let's get this FanDuel SGP out of the way. So I have a free bet on FanDuel. And someone mentioned, is there a no sweat? See, these I don't necessarily like, but we're doing it anyways. So I might as well lock it in. So I am logged in. What? Whatever. FanDuel is so glitchy. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's a good play. I don't have DraftKings, but that is a good play. All right, let's try this again. Opt in. All right, so yeah, we can bet this one. So the easiest way to do this is to just filter specifically for FanDuel, which is what we're going to do. So let me refresh this. So for these SGPs, I'm trying to look for stuff for minus money. So I almost never touch minimum. Wait, so max odds, we want 100. So I want to see if there's anything for minus money just to make it a little bit more likely to occur. So here we go. Perfect example. Saquon Barkley over 3.5 receptions, minus 140. It's plus EV. We are going to add it to our same game parlay. So we want receiving. Oh, I don't know if we can. Well, I'm not sure if we'll be able to do this because receptions, they don't always allow, but we can see. Let's see what other some good ones. Alec Pierce receptions over 3.5. Another receptions one. So that'll be a perfect example. If receptions don't work, that'll be tough. But Pierce, this guy has been getting a ton of work with the with the Colts. So I can. So maybe you just can't do it in SGP. Let's see. Yeah, that's what it is. So with separate games, I can. All right, that's good to know. Let's see what other some good ones are. Saquon Barkley rushing attempts, I won't be able to do. George Pickens receiving yards over 50. Aaron Rodgers longest completion over 34.5. I like this one. The Jets secondary stinks. So I like his longest completion. He doesn't necessarily have a great deep threat, which is the scary part, but I think he'll be able to get it done. So we're looking for passing props. We're looking for longest pass over 34.5. Perfect. So I'll add one more, and then I will put what was the amount that they would refund? $5? Lame. If you have, I mean, whatever you can get up, on this one. I would. Then let me get 5, which is lame, but is what it is. So the next one, I like this one. Will Disley over 20.5 receiving yards will be the last play for the SGP. I mean, that, like I mentioned before, that game's gonna have a ton of yards, ton of scoring. Disley has been like pretty good for the Seahawks, which is kind of funny. And 20.5 yards is not a lot. So, all right. So got it to plus 1,000 odds. I wish I could put more on this one, but they won't refund me. So the plays you see here, Saquon Barkley over 3.5 receptions, Alec Pierce over 3.5 receptions, Aaron Rodgers' longest pass over 34.5, Will Disley over 20.5 receiving yards is our official Sweat the Bet SGP for today. So I'm going to lock this one in, and I'm going to skedaddle on out of here. So the Philly Dallas under we'll talk about before Sunday Night Football. I think it's a great underplay. It was plus EV when I was last looking as well. I had already locked it in earlier in the week, but I agree with that. Under is a great play. Patriots win outright. It's a great play. Not sure about the Bucs Steelers under. Can't say I'm as confident on that one, but the other ones are good. But anyways, lock in this SGP with me. Hopefully you locked in some of the bets that I gave out earlier. Now I got to go down to my man cave. Got to get my screens set up to watch football. So I appreciate you guys joining me on this live stream. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, where I'll talk about some bets. I'll talk about some stuff. But more importantly, enjoy your football Sunday. Stay tuned on this channel. I think Randall's going live later today. I'll be going live before Sunday Night Football. Might go live before that as well. But for this one specifically, I am out. Going to go set up my man cave. So I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys tuning in and commenting and everything. Chris Gabe says it best. Let's ride.